He came into the league as an undersized third-round pick. I think he's always looked for respect. He's had that chip on his shoulder. The label hasn't completely left him despite his success. And then there's the role in Seattle. I've told you what I think of Seattle. Every time I watch Seattle, I say the same thing. Well, it's 6-3 going into the fourth quarter. I guess Russell Wilson will now be unleashed to help them win a football game. They run the football, they play defense, which is still bizarre that you have this great quarterback with the game on the line. There's no other quarterback in the NFL I'd rather have leading a game-winning drive than Russell Wilson right now. I would not. Seattle, though, doesn't unleash him until the fourth quarter. So the degree of difficulty is ratcheted up even more. Whereas, look at these other quarterbacks. They do what they want whenever they want to. You watch the Seahawks, and it'll be like run left, run right, 3rd and 10, try to complete a pass. Hey, we're in field goal range, and there's our field goal, and let's go play some good defense there. For all intents and purposes, Russell Wilson is the Seahawks now. That contract extension out of the way, and they can now focus on getting back to a Super Bowl. There was a report, there were rumors that Russ wanted out of Seattle. He wanted to relocate perhaps to New York because his wife, Sierra, is a star. And I'm guessing that's not happening now. So it's one thing to say, hey, I want to go to a bigger market. I want to get out of Seattle for my wife, the opportunities I could have off the field in the offseason. That's not happening with Russell Wilson. But I also want to know, I don't think this has ever happened with leverage from a late-night talk show host. Jimmy Fallon deserves at least a piece of this. Because let's go back to when Russell Wilson, out of nowhere, appears on the Jimmy Fallon show. Now, when you're looking at that, and I went, okay, what's Russ promoting? Now, you know, Russ is always promoting something. But he's on Jimmy Fallon, and then next thing you know, and they do this, they have a rehearsal. There's a pre-interview. And I'm going to guess that a month ago, March 15th, he's on Jimmy Fallon's show. And what they do prior to the show, they may call you a day before, 2 days before, 3 days before, and it'll be a producer. And the producer will say, got any stories, Russ? Like, what, anything in the off season? You go on a vacation, anything fun? You go on an African safari, something. Is there anything you want to talk about? And that's where I'm guessing Russell Wilson probably said to the producer for Jimmy Fallon, hey, maybe Jimmy could kind of joke about my contract situation and I'd like to be the highest paid, or maybe I should be the highest paid quarterback. How about we do that? Maybe we make some news here. I'm guessing that's what happened because knowing how these talk show interviews go, they just ask you what you want to talk about and they want good stories. That's it. It's 5 to 7 minutes. They know exactly what you're going to say. Now, Letterman always kind of drifted from what you were supposed to talk about, famous for doing that. You're like, we didn't talk about this in the pre-show interview. He wanted to have 2 footballs, I think, in a game. He goes, why only have 1 football? We should have 2. We didn't talk about this in the pre-show interview. But I'm guessing Jimmy Fallon, a very generous interviewer, that he just said, or his, producer said, hey, what do you want to talk about? Hey, maybe Jimmy could say you should be the highest paid quarterback. Then the crowd reacts, and then I talk about, well, I don't know. Maybe, hey, would you ever play in New York? The New York crowd will react. It'll be fun. I think that's what happened. Not that that's the reason why Seattle gave him that money, but he got paid. And if there was public pressure, I don't know how much public pressure there was because Seattle built a great team, a Super Bowl winning team because of Russell Wilson's contract. He was a 3rd-round pick. And this is going to, Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes' contract now. Houston, Deshaun Watson's contract. And because of that, you're able to sign these players. Now it becomes even tougher for Seattle. Seattle's not getting back to a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Not in the Russell Wilson era. Just not. That amount of money, they're going to start to lose players. Houston they're on the clock with Deshaun Watson. Patrick Mahomes is going to make $200 million. Mark my words. He'll have a $200 million contract. When it's in a couple of years, that's probably what it's going to be worth. Because the going rate right now, and I don't know who's next up. I know Carson Wentz is probably there for a big ticket. Jared Goff, I guess. But it's going to be Mahomes. Mahomes is going to change the whole salary structure there with the NFL.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.